Hello there, how are you doing today on this morning, afternoon, evening? I am George, and I have done videos before, spiritual videos, spiritual practice, meditation, and I stopped for a long time, realizing more recently though that I need to get into the practice myself, and often the best way for me to get into a practice is to do it with other people or for other people. Maybe a little selfish, maybe a little odd, but I know myself and that's what works. So I'm going to try to do these again. Especially in recent months, I have been realizing how past trauma has really been affecting me. I'm in an environment with kids, and the kids that I work with have often been traumatized. What I've been realizing in that process is most of us have been traumatized. Most of us have had traumatizing experiences, early childhood adversities, and so it's really it can really trigger your own things. It can bring things up that you didn't know you still had, and that's been kind of happening lately. COVID has helped with that. Being low on staff, I don't know if any of these things resonate with other people, but I think it's kind of what's happening in the whole world right now. So I decided that I wanted to start doing these kinds of meditations, these kinds of videos, share them with friends and anybody else who might get something out of them. And today I just wanted to do a little practice. It's an old one. It's one that I learned about a year ago, but it's been very helpful for me when I get stuck in the whirlwind of my mind and things keep spiraling. I tend to spiral, and I tend to really live inside my head. And what I'm realizing is that often in the kind of trauma that I've experienced, it helps me to get into my body and to feel safe in my body and to kind of note my environment and notice the safety of my environment. And so what I wanted to do today, because I kind of need it, is to do an exercise where I notice 5 things that I can see, 4 things that I can hear, 3 things that I can feel, 2 things I can smell, and 1 thing I can taste. I can do this obviously after the vision part. I can do this closed-eyed, but I have been practicing my meditations more open-eyed because it makes me feel safer. But I also, I think sometimes I tend to disassociate from things when I close my eyes, and so opening my eyes during meditation sometimes can help situate me in the environment and make me feel like I'm allowing things around me to be, not trying to push them away. So especially with this one, and as I said, part of it is visual, so I am going to do all of it open-eyed, but if you're following and you, after the visual part, want to close your eyes and notice the other things, that's totally fine. We do what's comfortable for us. Also, if at any time any of these things start to bring up things that are uncomfortable, or your body starts to twitch, or you're noticing a kind of reaction in your body, sweating or your heart beating, it's totally fine to open your eyes if they're closed. It's totally fine to turn off the video and go take a walk, or what I like to do is get my hands in the soil in the garden, do something else, and then come back. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to notice 5 things in my room here. I'm going to try to notice things that I haven't noticed before, or parts of things, like I have floorboards, and what I'm going to try to do is just notice one little part of a floorboard, or one little inconsistency or pattern that I might not have noticed. I'm going to notice the phone in front of me, notice the stand that it's on. I'm noticing a little mark on the stand. I'm noticing the color of the walls, which I hadn't really quite noticed before in this light. And there's a little shadow of a tree limb. kind of noticing how my hands are folded. So just noticing 5 things that you can see, and I always like to encourage myself and therefore others to notice things you haven't noticed before, because it's really easy to just brush over things that you notice all the time. Or if you see something you notice all the time, notice something unusual about it or something you hadn't noticed before, because that really can get you out of your head a little bit more and into your observational space, kind of noticing the environment. And now I'm going to do 4 things that I can hear. I can hear noises coming from the other room. I can hear birds outside. And I can right now hear the sound of my own voice. I hear a car driving by outside, and it's actually kind of pleasant. It's kind of a soft droning noise. I'm going to move on to 3 things that I can feel. I can feel my arms right now on my legs, just a tiny bit of pressure. You can feel just a little bit of stiffness in my back. I'm just noticing it without judgment. Not labeling it good or bad, just noticing it. I can feel the air is kind of not too cold and not too warm. Two things I can smell. This one's a little harder. I can smell clothes, if that makes sense. And sometimes with this one I might put something close to my hands. I can actually smell the onions that I was working on in the garden earlier. That's interesting. And then one thing I can taste. And sometimes you can still taste something that you ate earlier. I can taste coffee that I had just a bit ago. Something that was told to me once is to kind of lick the top of your palate and just see what that tastes like if you can't notice any other taste. So I've done a lot of talking. I'm going to invite us all to kind of do the exercise again without me talking, and just noticing where it takes you in your body, noticing what you're observing. So 5 things you can see. 4 things you can hear. 3 things you can feel. 2 things you can smell. 1 thing you can taste. At this point, I'm often out of my head, and so I might actually close my eyes and then continue the observation, but not quite so focused. And focus on the awareness of my breath. Focus on the awareness of my body, or my environment in general, what I'm noticing around me or in me. And if I want to go to the advanced level, I might notice my emotions that I'm feeling or any thoughts I might be feeling, almost as if I'm watching a movie, or almost as if I was a parent watching my child and just with love, noticing what's going on without trying to intervene or judge. And that can lead me into a nice early stage of meditation. It could be everything that I do, if that's as far as I can go. Or I could continue that observation, that awareness, open-eyed, closed-eyed. Again, if any visuals or memories or things that are disturbing start to pop up, I can always stop it. Sometimes I will do a walking meditation, or do something to kind of get me again out of my head a little bit, out of the experience, and come back to it, and just do as much as I need to. Sometimes people tell you, you've got to meditate for an hour, you've got to be in this mindfulness for half an hour every day. And especially, I think, when you experience trauma or extreme stress in your life, you got to take baby steps. And what I found is that even a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes can help if I'm at work and I can't really step off the floor for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Just what I can do to kind of regulate myself and kind of get back into kind of an open state is perfect. So that is just my little introduction. Thanks for joining me. It's something that I needed to do, so I figured I would do it in public and invite others to do it with me. And let me know. I'm still learning how to do this. I'm still learning the sound of my voice, things that I hear on video when I'm videoed. And so things will probably change as I go, but I appreciate your patience with me and allowing me to show up just as I am, and to be okay with myself right here, and to be okay with yourself exactly as you show up right now. Thank you.